Morning, boys and girls. I'm going to start today's English lesson with a tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. What do you notice about that? What makes it so memorable? Think about the sounds at the start of the letters. Peter, Piper, picked a peck of pickled pepper. It's alliteration. It's a classic example of alliteration. It sticks in your mind because of the repetition of that sound at the start of the words. What about another one that I'm sure you're all familiar with? She sells seashells on the seashore. I'm not even going to try and do the whole one. What about that one? Well, that one's trickier. And the reason it's trickier is because there are two sounds. It varies between sh, she, shells, and shore, and sells, see. So the two are different sounds. There's two different examples of alliteration in there. And that's really important. It's not the first letter that gives the alliteration, it's the first sound. So fierce phantoms may start with different letters, but they both start with a f sound. Fierce phantoms. That is alliteration. Psychic powers. Both start with a P, but they don't both make up sound. We've got a S and a P, so that is not alliteration. Okay, so alliteration sticks in your mind. It's a good way of emphasising something in your writing. But that's not our main learning today. Our main learning today is about metaphors and similes. And we talk about these a lot, and we've talked about them a lot in class and how effective they are in your writing. And particularly in poetry, which relies so much on figurative language and imagery, they are absolutely crucial. So I've written a couple up. Which is a simile and which is a metaphor? The soldiers were as fast as cheetahs. The soldiers were streaks of lightning. Which is which? They're both giving us the same impression that it's to do with speed, the way they were moving around on those beaches. Can you remember which one's which? I bet you can actually, because you're pretty good with these. So the first one is a direct comparison. We're comparing the soldiers to cheetahs. They were as fast as cheetahs. So that is our simile. In the second one, we are actually saying that they were streaks of lightning. The soldiers were streaks of lightning. Clearly they didn't turn into blazes of high voltage electricity, but it gives a really vivid image in the reader's mind. So that's the difference between the simile and the metaphor. And a lot of the imagery that we looked at yesterday was based on metaphor. Were the clouds really smouldering into red? No, they weren't. You know, did the holy brightness actually break into flame? No, it didn't. But again, it paints such a clear picture in the reader's mind, and that's the whole purpose of figurative writing, okay? So today you're going to practice writing your own similes and metaphors based on some sentences that I've given you, okay? So the sentence is there, you've just got to slot in the simile or the metaphor. I want you to write them out in full in your books, and if you can underline or highlight the simile or the metaphor, that would be fantastic, okay? So the similes need to be a realistic comparison. If you were thinking speed, you're not going to compare to a tortoise. If you were thinking something was as big as, you're not going to choose a mouse. Okay, so they have got to be realistic. Now, metaphors, you've got a much wider choice that you can consider. But remember, it does have to paint the correct image that you're trying to portray. So don't go totally off the wall with them. They do need to convey that message that you're trying to get across. Okay, so have a bit of fun with them as much as you can. They are still based on war, but use your imaginations on them, okay? And then tomorrow you will start putting them into practice. Right, see you later. Bye.